What's up? What's cracking? It is I, the actual King Smith, back in here for another The Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. Also on U.S. Army WTF Moments. Shout out to the viewers and listeners who are out there. It is May the 18th, and I'm rocking a solo live stream today as Coach, who was supposed to come on and debate me about who's the GOAT between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, got scared. He got scared, y'all. Said that he couldn't show up today, so I had to make a pivot and produce another awesome segment here at WTF Nation Radio. So that's what we're going to get to cracking with tonight. Hope y'all are doing all right this fine Sunday. Whether you count Sunday as the end of your week or the beginning of your week, I count it as the end of my week. My beginning don't start until Monday. But that's just me. Man, we've had some very, very nice weather here where I live after um, a week full of rain all week. They said April showers are supposed to bring May flowers, but I don't know what this is that's been happening. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. We had some nice sun over the weekend as we got through the week. I've got about 2 more weeks until my kid graduates. No, 1 week and a day really until my kid graduates high school. And I'm pretty excited about that. So that's what's going on with me. What's going on with y'all? Tap in and let me know where y'all are checking in from, because y'all know WTF Nation Radio is worldwide. But tap in and let me know where y'all are checking in from. You can just put the state. I live in Maryland. All right, OPSEC. I live in Maryland. You can just put the state. You don't have to be specific. But I love to know where everybody is watching from. Let me see who we have in the building before we get started. We got some early people tapping in. I appreciate y'all popping in. Shout out to my lady, Michelle Early, over on Facebook and YouTube. Pulling double duty today. Thank you, babe. She said good evening in both locations. Good evening to you. And I know you're about to head to bed. So thank you for tuning in. Let's see. We got Richard Bronco in the building. Said, have a banging show, Smith. I will catch you on the next lap, sir. Hey, Richard Bronco, I appreciate you tuning in, my man. Hope you're doing okay. You also said, what's up, everybody? Me just hanging out here doing some homeless advocating while racing is slow. You know what? Good for you, man. Good for you. The homeless need advocates, right? They're one of the populations that need the resources. As a veteran, there was a news article that we talked about here on WTF Nation Radio in which our current president came out and produced an executive order to create like a national veteran center or national veteran homeless center. And I'm butchering the name because I wasn't prepared for that part anyway, as it's not sports related. But to know that we have advocates out there for the homeless, that's awesome, man. I salute you. We got Julie checking in from Michigan. Hey, Michigan in the building. That's what's up. Give you a salute, Julie. Thank you for joining. We got David Cunningham, West Side, California, checking in. West Side. Hey, David, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Did I bring the other morale patch up? I didn't bring the other one up. Doggone it. So David sent me a nice little care package. He sent me some morale patches like this. And let me see if I can get my wallet out. So I don't know if y'all know about challenge coins, but you got these little coins, right? You could call them challenge coins. Some people call them round metal objects. And during my time in the Air Force, what you would do is if you were out, let's say you were partaking in some adult beverages with your crew, your air crew, or people that you were stationed with or whatnot, if anybody produced a challenge coin or a round metal object, if there was somebody there or people there that didn't have their challenge coin, then that person bought drinks or they bought a round. If you produced and everybody challenged and had theirs, then you had to buy a round for everybody that was there that also had their challenge coins. So that's one of the military traditions, customs, and cultures, things that existed when I was still in. I believe that they still do that to this day, depending on what job you have, whatever your MOS or AFSE is if you were in the Air Force. But those are one of the traditions that I like. I like the camaraderie building and things like that. Let's see, who else do we have? Shout out to Pete. Greek Pete is in the building. He said, I have one from CQ. Well, hey, now you know. Ask CQ about the challenge coin and if he honors that, right? Because, again, it's depending on the culture, then you might have people that follow those same type of rules, some that may not. But it's still pretty cool to have, like, if you have a challenge coin and you show it up and somebody has theirs, it just builds that instant bonding. Okay? But let's see, that's everybody that's commented so far. So thank y'all for tuning in. We've got a couple of different sports news things that we're going to cover today. I'm going to hit up NHL, talk about that. We've got some PGA news. The WNBA is back in full effect. It seems like they just ended. And I could talk about the WNBA today because Coach ain't on. If Coach was on, he'd be over talking me right now saying he don't want to hear nothing about the WNBA, but we're going to get into it. The NFL had a schedule release, which ultimately led to a little bit of controversy, but it all ended good. So we're going to talk about that. Let's see. What else do we have here today? Pete Rose's ban got lifted, and I wasn't sure if we covered that last week, so we are going to cover that this week. And some NBA news. So let's tap in. Let's see how this show is going to go today with me being solo. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in. So let's see. First things first here. The NHL. All right. The NHL playoffs are almost set, right? In the Western Finals, you have the Dallas Stars had edged out the Winnipeg Jets 2-1 in overtime, securing their third consecutive trip to the Western Conference Final. They will face the Edmonton Oilers in a rematch of last year's conference final, with Game 1 scheduled Wednesday, May the 21st. Moving over to the Eastern Conference Finals, which are playing right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers are playing for that decisive Game 7 to see who makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the winner of this game will advance to face the Carolina Hurricanes. Curious people want to know this. Can the Maple Leafs overcome their 7-game woes as they've lost 6 straight Game 7s that they've been a part of? 6 straight. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would be betting on the Florida Panthers to advance, which they were one of the favorites coming into this Stanley Cup series. So let's see if they can pull that off today. Matter of fact, let me go and check to see if there's been any scoring since that game has gotten kicked off here. Let's see. It is 0-0 still in the first frame with 3:04 remaining. You can find that game on TNT, True TV, or Max. Man, whew, okay. If I would have put money on that game, I would have wanted to know what the money line was. I think I would have bet on the Panthers playing away to get the win. All right. Let's see. Let me check on some comments here. David Cunningham said, it seems like the New York. And white boy got a knife. What that mean? What that mean? Okay. Let's see. David Cunningham. We are going to get into some NBA news here in a little bit. What do we have next up here? Next up, NBA news, actually. All right, so the OKC Thunder advanced to the Western Conference Finals, beating the Denver Nuggets today, 125-93 in Game 7. They took the Nikola Jokic-led Denver Nuggets and put them in the woodshed and just gave them a spanking. Having OKC advance to their first Western Conference Finals since 2016. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, affectionately known as SGA for people that have tongue-twisting problems when they're speaking, led the Thunder with 35 points today, while Jalen Williams decided to step up and he knew how to play ball. He added 24 total points. And the Thunder will face the Minnesota Timberwolves in the next round. And going back to what David Cunningham added, let's bring this back up here. The Knicks take down the Boston Celtics in Madison Square Garden to advance to their first conference finals in 25 years. Going back up to hockey, Jake said Toronto or Florida. I'm putting my money on Florida. I don't believe that the Maple Leafs. I'm superstitious. I know we were just covering NBA, but let me go back up. I want to see what the line was on that to see who Vegas had favored it. I'm scrolling. I'm looking. I don't see it here, so let me look up a different source. If anybody can find it quicker than I do, let me know. Let me see. Who was favored in the Toronto, Florida game 7 matchup? We doing it live, baby. We're doing it live. Let's see. Let me look here. Why is Bing coming up? Bing, who uses Bing? Google is my favorite to get things set for. Okay, so the money line odds pretty much across most sports books had the Panthers favorite today by 1.5 points. Okay, so if I were going in line with Vegas, then I would have bet on the Panthers as well. So yeah, that's who I've got. That's my answer to your question there. Who was that answered that asked that again? Jake from State Farm. All right. I've got to go back and forth between these screens here. Jake said, "Good pick. I'm with you. Toronto chokes in every second round." Absolutely, man. I like the thing too that the stat of them losing, they've lost 6 straight game 7s. That's interesting. That is something that you really have to take time to overcome. All right. Let's see. Let me take a look at the next story here. Bring this up. So we talked about the NBA playoffs. I do have a discussion point for everybody. Is this the beginning of a new dynasty in OKC? Several streams back, Coach talked about how the Oklahoma City Thunder, having sucked and had some really high draft lotteries over the last couple of years, have really gotten the pieces together. But since they play in such a small market, among the professionals, if you listen to different sports podcasts like I do, the current players now and former players that really watch and know NBA sports, everybody talks about SGA like, yo, he's up, he's it, he's coming up. You've got Jokic, who's had his several MVPs. You've got LeBron that's still playing at a high level at 40. You got who else? SGA. You got Brunson, who's really stepping up. Like, these are some of the other names of players that are really putting themselves in the limelight, right? So, like, once Steph Curry's done, which, look, once you get over the age of 30, playing at a high performance like that, it can be rough, all right? So once Curry's gone, LeBron, like, who's that next young face of the league? Well, if you ask a lot of the players in the NBA right now, or you listen to the different podcasts, they talk about SGA. That Oklahoma City Thunder team is playing phenomenal defense. If you look at their all of their defense metrics throughout the entire regular season and what they've managed to keep up in the playoffs as well, they're shutting teams down. They're shutting teams down with great defense. They space the floor real well, and they have high percentage shots where they keep the other teams off their game. That was really evident today. Jokic took 9 shots today. For somebody who had 44 points in game 6, Jokic took only 9 shots today. That was baffling to me. Let me go back in here and also take a look. So Jokic, with his 9 shots that he took, produced 20 points, 9 rebounds. Aaron Gordon, who was kind of injured, only took 2 of 4. Michael Porter Jr., which I don't know what Michael Porter Jr. does. Like, what's his value? He plays mediocre defense. He doesn't really produce on offense, period. I would love to go back and watch a game where it's like, man, Michael Porter Jr. went off. No, I don't get how this guy has earned himself to be a starter the way that he has. Jamal Murray, with him being injured, took up 16 shots and only made 6 of them, going 1 of 8 for a 3-point. They couldn't hit nothing on the 3-pointers today. 10 of 45, which was a 22.2% clip. They were 39 points from field goal total. Just tragic. Guys off the bench played a lot better than some of the starters did. But I think that OKC defense it's here. I think when they make it to the big stage, it's going to be witness. And they're my pick to win it all. They're my pick to win it all. Let me come in here and see if anybody has anything to say about that. Let me see. David Cunningham said, rake those leaves. I don't know what that means, man. But it sounds good. The Maple Leafs. Duh. My soundboard ain't set up yet. I'm going to catch up, David. I'm going to catch up. All right. Moving to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese make headlines. In the season opener this year, Caitlin Clark started out the season on fire, recording a triple-double, leading the Indiana Fever to a 93-58 victory over the Chicago Sky. In the game, there was a hard foul by Caitlin Clark on Angel Reese that sparked controversy, resulting in a flagrant foul for Clark and technical fouls for Angel Reese and Aaliyah Boston. I'm going to play the video. Actually, I've got a couple of videos. I'm going to play the video, and I'm going to let y'all tell me what y'all think about what occurred. So that's not the right thing that we're going to play. So here's the first video. And I'm going to let this play. And I'm going to have y'all tell me what y'all notice.
Strong on a three. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. Afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away. We know there are always increased eyeballs, energy, and attention around the matchups between Reese and Clark, and Angel Reese is still going after Caitlin Clark in the aftermath.
Everyone in the arena had to know this foul was coming. As soon as you saw Angel Reese wide open, you knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that foul.
All right, if you know that something's about to jump off, why do you turn your back to somebody? Somebody should coach Caitlin Clark a little bit different. You don't turn your back to somebody unless you know that they're not going to do anything. But let me come back here. Let me see if I can mute the volume. All right, and I'm going to get to a certain frame here. Play it through. So this is the play from the front. And then when they show the replay, I'm going to show y'all, see if I can pause it. All right. Did y'all see where Caitlin Clark had extended her hand? Initially, which y'all didn't see in this video, which I've got another video that I'm going to play. Watch what Angel Reese did before she got this rebound and before Caitlin Clark initiated contact. Let's play that video. Except it doesn't want to play. All right, hold on. We gonna do it live. Let's do it again. Of course it's not playing now. I have no idea why the video won't play. But in the video, I guess I'm gonna have to describe it. Angel Reese. Oh, here it is. Now it wants to play. So you see Angel Reese two-hand shove Aaliyah Boston, which is Caitlin Clark's teammate. And Caitlin Clark's like, yo, where's the foul at? Because there wasn't a foul card. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, Caitlin Clark took exception to that. And then she went and made a hard foul herself. Some people are talking about Caitlin Clark shoved Angel Reese. I don't think so, right? These two are going to be talked about throughout the WNBA. Some people are even calling it this generation's version of Bird versus Magic, right? I don't know if Angel Reese is that good, in my opinion. Caitlin Clark is who she says she is. She is. But I don't see anything about Angel Reese's game that's going to tell me that she's going to be an all-star when it's all said and done. Now, there's a video out there, and I'm going to see if I can bring this one up, that showcases Angel Reese's skill in the preseason. And just take a look at this.
What they say about layups, harder than nuclear physics. Bang!
She's a point forward now, and nobody's more excited than opposing defenses.
Time for the vintage underhand scoopity shot from 3 feet. Yep, there it is. Bang! Out to McDonald's, sponsoring the first ever fry cook in the WNBA. Bag work is off the dollar menu, man. What is this junk? Bang!
And she still can't make a layup, bro. What the
So that's Angel Reese. That's Angel Reese. Over on Twitter or X, a lot of athletes chimed in on this. Some people were for Angel Reese and some people were against Angel Reese. It sparked another race controversy as well, which I don't know how we're going to get past that going forward in life. I really don't. I don't. I wish I had an answer for it, right? An athlete is an athlete. Some people are just more physically gifted than others. Right now, Caitlin Clark is, she is the face of the WNBA. She's the LeBron James right now as the young person in the league. And if she can remain healthy, I don't see a reason why she's not going to be a first-time Hall of Fame ballot. Plain and simple. Caitlin Clark's that good. She's that good. There's no denying that. I don't see Angel Reese having the same impact as Caitlin Clark is. I don't see it. There were people that play on the same team as Angel Reese and that I think are better. There's 4 people on Angel Reese's team that I think is better than her. But that's just me. Let's see if y'all have anything to say about this. David Cunningham said, at this point, Angel Reese needs to suck it up, Buttercup. There's no crying in the WNBA. Absolutely not. Like, look, some people are saying, oh, Angel Reese is going to be the bad guy. She's going to be the Draymond Green of the WNBA. And if she's able to keep that mantle up, it can work for her. She's certainly marketable. If anything, Angel Reese is marketable. The Bayou Barbie is marketable. All right? But she's not going to win games. Caitlin Clark is going to win you games. She's not going to win games. David Clark said, Angel Reese talks about being sexualized, but every time you see her on TikTok, she has minimal clothes on. I'm going to hit you with this. 100%, David. 100%. Now, look, is this rivalry between these two detrimental or beneficial to the league? I think it's beneficial to the league. Whenever those two play, wherever that game is at, it's going to sell tickets. The media is going to definitely hype that up. Again, I think that they're the WNBA's version of Jordan versus Bird. You can take that package and market it. I can see people siding on the side of it being a detrimental to the league as well because they are different races. That's going to be talked about. We can't avoid that one. It's unfortunate, but we can't avoid it. But overall, I think that is going to be beneficial for the league. Those two are going to sell tickets. Caitlin Clark, it doesn't matter who she plays against. She's going to sell tickets anywhere she plays. I want to see her play in person. So when they come down here to DC, if I can swing that and it's on a day that I can make work out for me, I want to go see Caitlin Clark play in person. She's one of those players that, I'm not going to say transcends the game, but definitely puts eyeballs, on TV screens or is enough to draw you to come out and see and play in person. But I'm also curious too, how should the WNBA address player safety, right? If things are going to appear to be tit for tat, are they going to let things fly for the sake of ratings? Or are they going to ensure that things are properly handled and taken care of? I talked about Aaliyah Boston receiving a technical penalty, and I wish I had the video for this one. In the post-game conference, Aaliyah found out that she got a technical foul, and she was surprised. She was like, "What? What did I do?" Right? Aaliyah stepped in between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but she didn't touch Angel Reese. She had her back to Angel Reese, and I just lost power. I hope I didn't lose internet either. Hope we're still live. So yeah, I think that the WNBA is definitely going to have to address certain things. I hope that they don't go too far because them assessing a technical for Aaliyah Boston is wrong. Caitlyn even said, "Don't worry about it," because Aaliyah said, "Would you be willing to take and pay half of it?" And Caitlyn said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." Very tongue in cheek, but that's the type of leadership that Caitlyn Clark has, and that's why she's always going to have her team rally around her. I don't see people rallying around Angel Reese that same way, but that was just my observations. But let me come over here and see if this stream is still live because I just lost power. But it looks like we're good. Give me a thumbs up or put something in the comment section to let me know that this stream is still going and that I'm not just talking to nobody out there. The last comment I see, David Cunningham says they call Angel Reese Bricklayer Barbie. Not the Bayou Barbie, but Bricklayer Barbie. That is hilarious. And if I could highlight that, I would. That is the comment of the evening right there. Bricklayer Barbie. I like it. I like it. All right. Next story up here. The NFL had their schedule release on Thursday or Friday. I forget what day. All right. And this is the first time that I've seen them highlight and market the schedule release the way that they did. Now, a good bit of teams, I haven't watched all of them because I don't know if every team did, but the Indiana Colts, the Baltimore Ravens, who's my team, and several other teams used their social media marketing and prowess to create some really cool schedule release videos. I saw that the Buffalo Bills had one where they said that they wanted to use AI to create a really good marketing video for the schedule release. And you were thinking artificial intelligence, but no, they actually chose Allen Iverson as their marketing ploy, right? And it was good. It was a nice little short commercial thing, short clip that they put on their Twitter and TikTok page. And AI started talking, and the GM was like, "So, are you rooting for the Bills?" And AI just laughed because, you know, he's a Philly guy. And he said, "Man, I'm rooting for my guy, Josh Allen." So I thought that was pretty dope. But something like that, right? Where you're asking these teams to, and their social media department to be tongue in cheek, right? Come up with something that can get people talking. And the Indiana Colts released one. And within the first 10 seconds, threw some massive shade that sparked some controversy around the league. So I want y'all to take a look at this video. I'm only going to play maybe the first 30 seconds. And I want to see if y'all catch it. But before I do, so the stream is still up. Thank you, David Cunningham. We got a thumbs up as well. And the scheduled release was Thursday. Awesome. Yep. Thank you. All right. So take a look at this video. I hope the music don't get us sucked. So week 1, they played against the Miami Dolphins. Week 2, they got the Broncos. And they kicked the Broncos off as the king of the hill and planted their flag. Week 3, Tennessee Titans, and then week 4, playing against the Rams. All right, so I'm going to stop there because I don't want this video to get zucked. The Indiana Colts took that video down. They took this video down. And I made the wrong thing. So they took the video down, and they just and they issued an apology to Tariq Hill. Because at the beginning of the video, y'all saw a dolphin in a Hill jersey get pulled over by the Coast Guard. And if you're not keeping up with sports news in general, Tariq Hill got pulled over and had a police interaction for speeding going to a game. All right. So people thought that it was insensitive. Snowflake started crying. Tariq Hill didn't say anything initially, but the Colts came back and took it down. And when they took it down, they tried to say that it was like Microsoft infringement, and that's why they took it down. It didn't have anything to do with the backlash that they received from about the Tariq Hill portrayal, that it was the Microsoft infringement. But Tariq Hill came out on his official Twitter and he reposted it. And I'm showing the screenshot up on the screen for those of y'all that are listening on audio. Tariq Hill on his official X page said, "Should have left it up, Colts. This was funny." And that was it. That was it. All right. So I thought it was funny. Other people thought it was funny. Tariq Hill thought it was funny, but they took it down. Was there a line between humor and insensitivity in any of that? I don't think so. I used to have this guy when I was in the military. He was one of the first artists that I got introduced to. He said, "Nothing's too cruel if it's funny." What do y'all think about that? Nothing's too cruel if it's funny. Going forward, I hope that the NFL keeps stuff like this right. You want to have that engagement. You want to get people talking. I know when the Ravens schedule came out, I shot a message to somebody that I'm looking at coordinating who's a Ravens fan as well to say, "Hey, what game are we going to link up so that me, my lady, the homie, his buddy, we can try and catch a Baltimore Ravens game?" Now, 3 of the 4 of us are Ravens fans. The 4th guy's a Philly fan. But, he said, "Hey, if we're going to catch a game together in person, let's do it." The Ravens game tickets aren't that expensive. But going to a game can still be expensive. The last game that I went to that I didn't pay for the tickets or anything myself, because I've been very fortunate. When you volunteer for a lot of veterans organizations and things, there are some generous donors that do reach out and give tickets and parking passes. But the last game that I went to where I paid for my own ticket and my own parking, I was amazed and surprised. If you get to some of the regular parking lots, you can pay regular parking prices. But if you get to some of these parking lots that are open for stadium events, you can have one car where the closer to the lot you get, the more expensive that you're going to pay. And there were some lots that were $100. Or if you were military, you could literally get half off. What was funny about those is that it was advertised in small letters. Military pays half off of $100 for parking. That's insane to me, right? So while the tickets themselves aren't that expensive to go to a football game, you get hit over the head with everything else. I have yet to go to a stadium where the traffic was easy to get in and out of for the regular person, right? Like if you're VIP, you can pay for escorts, and if you are some of the players, right, you get special parking that you could get into. I had a cousin that played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and when I would coordinate with him to catch a Chiefs game, he would send a player's parking pass and player's ticket. And I like that the way that the Chiefs handled it, because there was also like a hospitality room for people that got players tickets as well, right? And you could quickly get to parking and get in and out from that player's parking lot than you could from just like the regular parking lot. I ain't that rich yet. I'm trying to get there so I can pay the skip lines. But I ain't that rich yet. But I hope that the NFL keeps doing things like that. I thought that was really cool, and it got people to talking about the upcoming NFL season And if you didn't go to Ticketmaster or some of the other places to secure tickets, yeah, then I'm sorry for you, because either the good seats and good prices are gone, and the ones that are there now that are being up for resale have significantly jacked up prices. Let me come over here to the comment section to see what people are saying. David Cunningham said the Pittsburgh Steelers will be playing the first ever regular season NFL game in Ireland on September 28th in Dublin. Ooh, I didn't know that. That is cool. I appreciate you for dropping that nugget in there. NFL game in Dublin. Who are they playing against? Let's see. The Vikings will face the Steelers at Croke Park. Okay, that's cool. Yep, I see it right here on NFL.com. September 28, 2025. Let's see. Does this tell me anything about the stadium in general? Let's see. Sign up to receive news and ticket information. So if you go to NFL.com, you can sign up and indicate what tickets you would be interested in. Oh, and you can either do tickets only, ticket in hotel, or tickets plus hospitality. So if you got some bread and you want to get over to Dublin, Ireland, and have the full NFL experience over there in another country, that would be the way to do it. Hey, who rich out there and would be willing to sponsor King at WTF Nation Radio to get the NFL experience in Dublin, Ireland? Shoot me a message and let's talk. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So that was me taking a shot out there. All right, what do we have up next? Oh, let me go back to the comments and see if anybody else had anything to say before I continue. See, Jake over on Facebook said, was wondering when the Minecraft was coming back. Hey, do you play Minecraft, Jake? My daughter does. I know a couple of adults that still play. My barber, or one of my barbers, he plays with his son, and my barber was talking about how he has a server that has been ran and active for over like 15 years. That's insane. The server's older than his kid, right? But one of the ways that him and his kid spends quality time is to play Minecraft. And I thought that was cool. Like, my barber's older than me. I'm 40. Oh, man. Hey, I hope my barber's not watching this. I'm actually not sure if he's older than me. He looks older than me. I would put him at about 45, but he has a kid that's like 4 years old. But he was telling me that him and his son plays Minecraft every weekend, and I'm like, that's dope. David Cunningham said that VetTix sometimes gives away tickets for veterans. Yes, we talk about VetTix on here. Look, if you're a sports enthusiast or you just like events and stuff in general, and you're a veteran, or there's other categories like spouses, Gold Star family members, and other categories of people can sign up for VetTix. And as long as you qualify, VetTix is an amazing program. They're not sponsoring us or anything. I'm talking about them purely as a veteran myself that uses VetTix. But the only frustrating part about VetTix is that you have to stay on top of it if you want to really get some of the good tickets. But a lot of the high demand stuff they put inside of like a lottery system, which is fair. I like that. I have yet to win a lottery, but I do like that. But for other events, as long as you have your email set up, that you can get the email notifications when VetTix has events released that are of interest to you. It's great if you want to try to stay on top of it, but it does fill your email inbox like really fast. So I find myself at the end of the day deleting a lot of VetTix emails for events that I'm not interested in. But certainly if you're a veteran or somebody that qualifies for how VetTix, who's a nonprofit, gives tickets to people for free, essentially, you pay like a delivery fee. I think it's like $3.50 per ticket. Then you should sign up for VetTix and definitely do it. It is, I want to say it's VETTIX. Let me look it up. VetTix. Yeah, VETTIX.org. check them out. I'm pretty sure you will have heard of them by now, especially if you follow WTF Nation Radio. But if not, you're welcome. Pop Culture Warriors in the building. Pop Culture Warrior said, loving the shirt. This is from Pop Culture Warrior's website himself. He is our Pop Culture Warrior content creator and host. He does the show Pop Culture Warrior here on WTF Nation Radios every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time Zone. That's my guy too. He sucks at Madden. I'm better than him. And since he's not on to defend himself, that is the truth that is out there. And if he tries to write something, I will block him. But I appreciate you tuning in, brother. And yes, this is his shirt from his page. It says, "Let's play a game," with his logo. Told him that I would rock it today. Wanted to see if he was going to come on and verify that I was rocking his shirt today. All right, let's go back and see if we have any points or any updates in that Florida Panthers Toronto Maple Leafs game. Hey, look at that. We do. Early in the second frame, the Florida Panthers put up a goal, and it is now 1-0. Let's see who scored the point. I don't think I can see who scored the point really on. It was Seth Jones took a wrist shot and was assisted by Evan Rodriguez and Alexander Barkov. I just like those Russian names, European names. He might not be Russian. Barkov might not even be Russian. Let me start talking about something else before I put my foot in my mouth. But we do have a goal in that game. The Florida Panthers are up 1-0, scoring early in the second frame. Salute to them. All right. Let's see. Next up here, Scottie Scheffler wins the PGA Championship today, claiming his third major title, winning the PGA Championship by 5 strokes after a strong back nine performance. So we here at WTF Nation give Scottie a salute, claiming his third major title, winning, I think, just over night. Let me see. How much did he win? I'm going to go in here and figure this out. What was the total purse in that game? Blah, blah, blah. Let's pull this up. How much did Scottie Scheffler win? All right, the payouts are as followed. This is why I wish that I would. So it was a total $19 million purse in which the winner took home $3.4 million. The total purse is nearly in line with the largest offered on the PGA Tour this season. By comparison, the Masters offered a $21 million last month, a record for that event that sent Rory McIlroy home with $4.2 million for his win. The Players' Championship is the largest offered on tour at $25 million. All right, but getting in at first place and winning at first place, slice of the pie, that's not bad. $3.42 million. Scheffler actually had to come back and win too. Or not, I didn't say come back and win. He had a 5-shot lead, and the other Americans that were right there on his heels was chomping at the bit, hoping that he slipped up. But he played well early, trailed off kind of towards the end, but still held on to take down the tournament over this past weekend. So shout out to Scottie. Hey, Scottie, hook your boy up. Hook your boy up. I should have learned how to play golf in my formative years. I don't think you need to be the best athlete, right? Right? Yes, you do need to understand the mechanics. Am I too old to compete in some tournaments, right? See if I can get some money, raise up some money to get myself into some of these events and qualifiers. Go out there and try and get me a first place win. I'm too old. And I can barely score points in top golf. That's just a dream. I shouldn't do it. What's next? Pete Rose. Pete Rose's ban has been lifted posthumously. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred announced that the removal of Pete Rose and other deceased players has occurred from the permanently ineligible list, and that opens the door for Hall of Fame consideration for Pete Rose. Now, if people are wondering, who is Pete Rose? Okay, Pete Rose was known as Charlie Hustle. He was banned from baseball in 1989 after an investigation revealed that he bet on games while managing the Cincinnati Reds. Despite his on-field achievements, hitting over 4,000 hits, 17 All-Star selections, and 3 World Series titles, his gambling activities led to a lifetime ban, which also affected his Hall of Fame eligibility. Now, this new commissioner is coming in and he's knocking heads off. Commissioner Manfred's new policy states that permanent ineligibility ends upon an individual's death, reasoning that deceased persons no longer pose a threat to the game's integrity. This change allows for posthumous Hall of Fame consideration even for those who were previously banned. Now, the National Baseball Hall of Fame has confirmed that individuals removed from the ineligible list are now eligible for consideration, and Rose's case will be reviewed by the Classic Baseball Era Committee, which evaluates candidates who made significant contributions to the game prior to 1980. This committee's next meeting is scheduled for December of 2027. Reactions around the league has definitely sparked debate. Supporters argue that Rose's on-field accomplishments merit Hall of Fame induction, while critics contend that his gambling offenses should continue to disqualify him. Most notably, Yankees manager Aaron Boone, shout out to Coach, expressed approval of the decision, emphasizing Rose's significant contributions to baseball history. Rose's attorney, Jeffrey Linkoff, has initiated efforts to advocate for Rose's Hall of Fame induction, stating that as long as he is alive and has breath on this earth, he is never going to give up. And while lifting the ban marks a significant shift, the debate over Rose's place in baseball history, especially by those that follow the sport closely and enthusiasts, is going to expect to get heated, especially as the committee's 2027 meeting approaches. Okay? So, let's take a look, see if we have any additional comments here today before we go off. Let's see. David Cunningham said, I'll carry Scotty's bags. Look, he's got to tip you well. He has to tip you well. Jason Stanford, appreciate you popping in over on Facebook, says that Alabama has advanced to the super regions once again in softball. That's what I'm talking about, baby. If Alabama's going to do something right, it's going to be sports. I'm from Alabama, so if we're going to do something right, it's going to be sports. What else did we have in sports news as well? There was a Michael Jordan jersey from the 92-93 season that sold for $2.6 million. Who has the kind of money to buy a jersey for $2.6 million? And can you adopt me? I'm going to get somebody to adopt me here sometime soon. All right. The Florida Panthers have scored another goal. It is now 2-0. That was quick. Game's not over. Game's not over, but them being up 2-0 definitely puts a smile on my face, and I'm glad that I backed the right team here. Let's see. Anything else here to highlight before we go? David Cunningham said, New York Mets and New York Yankees are playing. It is 2-2, top of the 6th inning. Shout out to David Cunningham for popping that up. David, we're about to end, so I'm going to need your words to end our show, brother. In baseball also, the Battle of the Beltway occurred, in which the Baltimore Orioles played in their 3-game series against the Washington Nationals. And Baltimore didn't win a single game in that 3-game series. Let's see. Today's score, let me go back and bring that up here. Let's see. Where am I at? MLB. Here we go. So the score today was 10-4. If I go back and I look at the schedule in that series, let's see. Baltimore ended up losing 10-4, 10-6, 4-3. The closest was the first game in which it was 4-3, and the Nationals drove just a little bit north up to Baltimore Stadium and put a whooping on them in that series. They're going to go back to Atlanta and play the Braves in 2 dates here. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? There was another interesting thing as well. Somebody got fired. The Baltimore Orioles GM fired. They have one of the worst starts in history, and as of today's game, they were 15-30, 8-15 at home. Yikes! They're gonna have to get a couple of things together here. All right, was this rivalry week or something? Because I see the Philly-Pittsburgh game was in effect. You got the New York Mets and New York Yankees, Houston and Texas. Let's see, Tampa Bay and Miami. This must have been rivalry week. St. Louis, Kansas City. Had to have been. I don't keep up with baseball like that. Coaches are a baseball guy, so he would have told y'all that. All right. David Cunningham said that as of May 18, 2025, Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers leads all MLB in home runs with 16. Hey, they paid that man, and he has definitely earned his money. And it's LA has an opportunity to really just rake in the money. I'm curious if they're one of the more highest earning teams out there. Jason Stanford said the Clark Reed saga continues. I think it's going to be good for the WNBA. I love that rivalry, really. It's getting people talking. It got us talking on the show. Twitter's going off about it. Who calls it X? I don't like calling it X. It'll always be Twitter to me. But I think that saga is good for the WNBA, and it's definitely going to sell tickets. Every time that they play, ticket prices are going to jump up as well. Pop Culture Warrior said, thoughts on the Giants this upcoming football season. Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! They're going to win their division. Those are my thoughts. I should renounce my Baltimore Ravens fandom so that they can actually win in the playoffs and go over to the New York Giants so I can find a new team to curse. And if y'all are like, what is he talking about? I was a lifelong Falcons fan until they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots, until that 28-3 comeback that they lost in that Super Bowl. That season, I said, I'm done. And I picked a new team to support, and that's been the Baltimore Ravens. But that ain't been good either. They'll flash great during the regular season and then get to the playoffs, and then the offense sputters. It's never been the defense in the playoffs when they've lost. It's been the offense. All right? But what do I think that the Giants are realistically going to do? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what the Giants are going to do. And I'm going to take a look at their schedule. Now that the schedule's been released, okay. Let's see. They got the Commanders at home, followed by the Cowboys. Wait. They don't show whether it's... Okay, no. Red is away, blue is home. Okay, so their first two games of the year are away. So they're coming down and playing the Commanders. Do you want to go to that game? It'll get a chance to see our new team. Yeah. And they end the season 4 out of their 3 of their 4 last games are home games. They play the Cowboys early and they end with the Cowboys. Man, if I'm being real and not trying to be funny, they don't have their bye week until week 14. They can win 7 games. They can win 7 games. But let me move this out the way. The question that I would like to know is who's going to be their quarterback. And right now, I don't think that they have the quarterback play there to make things work out. Let me do this. All right, so you've got DeVito on the roster, Russell Wilson, and Jameis Winston, and then Jackson Dart, who still hasn't signed yet. I mean, seven game win season, 7 games. That's what I think. All right. David said that the Angels swept the Dodgers this weekend at Dodger Stadium. A lot of sweeps going on. And that the Giants have the hardest schedule based on last year's strengths. Of course they do. Because they suck. But go Giants. Man, we just had a jump of people that started tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. But we're going to end the show here almost exactly 1 hour. It's like I do this or something. So we're going to read David Cunningham's words here as we use his words to close out the show. Before I read his words, be sure to tune in tomorrow, the Monday edition, with station manager Ice, as he aptly does the show called the Monday edition. I just said that earlier. All right? And then come back and tune in Tuesday for Pop Culture Warrior. We're going to see if we have Pop Culture Warrior himself, CQ, pull up, or if it's going to be the B team. All right, David's words to close out our show. Great show today, King. I'm excited with the NFL season right around the corner. Thanks for tuning into the WTF Nation Radio Sports Bar. Have a great week, sports fans. Thank you for those words, David. And with that, I give y'all a salute. I am the actual King Smith, and we're out. Peace.